Good morning, students. This is K. Lakshmi, Assistant Professor in the Department of EEE, Chebrolu Engineering College, Lecture 35, Unit 3. In Unit 3, we have to complete the first part, that is magnetostatics and Ampere's law. And in Unit 3, the second part is magnetic force. Today's topic is motion of a charged particle in a magnetic field. Now let us discuss about the magnetic properties. Already we discussed in third chapter magnetostatics. So what is the magnetic properties? So even though we cut magnet into small pieces, each piece consisting of two poles, north and south pole, it is always indicates the north and south directions. So, and also to develop a magnetic field, there is a need not use magnet. A current carrying conductor is also developed the magnetic field. So that is the basic point. Now, in this session, we discuss about the magnetic force and motion of charged particle in a uniform magnetic field. That means in the last units, we discuss about a current carrying conductor creates a magnetic field. Now, in this topic, we discuss about how a magnetic force is developed. So, what is a magnetic force? When a particle moves with a velocity v in a magnetic field, here the particle means a charge. So whenever a charge moves with a velocity v, now it is placed in a magnetic field, then a magnetic force is developed which is perpendicular to both velocity and magnetic field. Here, very important pointing is we have to take a particle that is a charged particle. So as the definition of current, rate of flow of charge means that is current. So here, the charged particle is move with velocity, meaning here a current is passed through it. That means here both current and electric field and magnetic field both are acting at a particle. So whenever a particle moves with a velocity v in a magnetic field b, then a force is acting upon it. That force is mutually perpendicular to both v and b. So this magnetic force is indicated by the letter F bar is equal to Q V bar cross B bar. Okay. Then the force is perpendicular to, what are the main properties here? The force is perpendicular to both velocity and charge Q and the magnetic field B. That is clearly from the figure. So here, this is the figure. When you observe this figure, so this is a charged particle. It moves with a velocity v and it is placed in a magnetic field B. This is the direction of a force. It is clearly both V, B and F. That means velocity, magnetic field and force are mutually perpendicular. That is clear. And here the magnetic force F is equal to, expression is Q into V cross B. So V cross B value is equivalent to VB sin theta. So the magnitude of the force Fe value is equivalent to QVB cos theta. Actually, QVB sin theta. Where here theta is the angle less than 180 degrees. So whenever we substitute the value theta here, for example, if velocity and magnetic field intensity are in a parallel manner, then theta value becomes to 0. So sin 0 value becomes to 0. Automatically the magnetic force value is equivalent to 0. So here the theta value is very important. Here theta is the angle between velocity and magnetic field. Okay, and next point. The direction of force is given by the rule right hand rule, and the force relationship above is in the form of vector product also. Why? Because force F is equal to formula QV cross B. Okay, so V cross B, it is a curl product. So simply this is the expression for the magnetic force. Once again I repeat, let us take a charged particle Q, move with a velocity V, placed in a magnetic field B. Now a force is developed. This force is called magnetic force. And this magnetic force is perpendicular to both velocity and magnetic field. This magnetic force is expressed as F bar is equal to Q V bar cross B bar. So these are the characteristics properties. Force is always perpendicular to both velocity of the charge and also magnetic field B. And magnitude means the value of force we have to calculate with the help of expression QVB cos QVB sin theta. Why? Because V cross B means VB sin theta. So the value of F depends upon the angle between V and B also. So here, whenever the velocity and magnetic field are in a parallel manner, then theta value becomes to 0. So automatically the magnetic force value becomes to 0. And also the direction of force is given by right hand rule, and the force relationship above is in the form of vector product. So these are the some characteristics of magnetic force. So this is a figure clearly clarity about magnetic force. So this is the charges here. This positive indicates the charges. That means whenever charges are moved, that means automatically that is the definition of current. So this is the direction of current. The direction of current is along the length of the wire. So here this is indicates the direction of magnetic field. So when you observe your this figure, the thumb indicates the direction of force, and the remaining 4 fingers indicates the direction of magnetic field. So this magnetic force we can also express in terms of length and current as F bar is equal to IL cross B bar. IL cross B bar. Okay. That means the magnetic force relationship is applied to a current carrying wire. The right hand rule may be used to determine the direction of force on the wire. So here we have to take an example of current carrying wire. Now it is placed in a magnetic field. Then a magnetic force is developed on this current carrying wire. The direction of magnetic force is, we have to find with the help of right hand rule. So this is the right hand rule. Our thumb indicates the direction of magnetic force, and the remaining 4 fingers indicates the direction of magnetic field. Why? Because the direction of magnetic field is always in a circular path. It is a closed path. Okay. Now, from the force relationship, the units of magnetic field are Newton seconds, Coulomb meter, or Newtons per ampere meter. So Newtons per ampere meter is named as Tesla. Newtons second per Coulomb meter or Newtons per ampere meter is named as Tesla. Actually, Tesla is the unit of magnetic force, magnetic field. And these Tesla units are used in a larger values. And Gauss is also another unit of magnetic field. But these Gauss units are used in case of small field, small values like the Earth magnetic field. So let us discuss what is the difference between Tesla and Gauss law. Tesla is equivalent to 10,000 times of Gauss. That means Gauss is very, very, very small compared with Tesla. So the Earth magnetic field at the surface is on the order of half of Gauss. That's why, as in we discussed in lower classes, Earth is also a huge magnet, but its magnetic field is very, very less. That is in the order of half of the Gauss. Gauss is a very small unit, but the Earth magnetic field is of order half of Gauss. And the next we discuss about the motion of a charged particle in a magnetic field. So first we have to understand the topic. Here, motion of a charged particle. That means a charged particle is moving with some velocity. Now it is placed in a magnetic field. That is the concept. Okay. Okay. We have read the interaction of electric field and magnetic field, and also motion of a charged particle in the presence of both electric and magnetic field. And also we have to derive magnetic force, that is F is equal to Q VB sin theta, which is called magnetic force, or also it is called Lorentz force. So that is discussed in first we have to today class. Now, what happened when a charged particle moves in the presence of magnetic field? A charged particle moves in the presence of magnetic field. How do we define the trajectory of such a particle? Here the meaning is the particle moves with some velocity in a magnetic field, then what about the path traveled by the charged particle? That is here the meaning of how do we define the trajectory of such a particle. Now let us discuss briefly. So this is the figure. This is the charged particle. Now its velocity is v. It is moving with a velocity v. Now it is placed in a magnetic field. This is the direction of magnetic field. Whenever a charged particle enter into the magnetic field, immediately the direction of the particle is changes. That means here a magnetic force is acting on the particle. Due to this magnetic force, the particle moves like this. When you observe the figure, the particle moves like this. This is a helical axis, helical shape. Once again, I repeat. This is the charged particle Q. It moves with a velocity v. Whenever this charged particle enters into a uniform magnetic field and which is a perpendicular to the velocity, immediately the direction or the path of particle is changes. That means it moves in a shape of helical axis like this. Why? Because the particle having both electric and magnetic field acting on the same particle and it moves with a velocity v. Due to that, a magnetic force is developed on the particle. This reason, the particle moves with a helical shape. Helical shape means in a circular path like that. So this is called movement of charged particle in a magnetic field. Let us discuss the theory part. Now, a force acting on a particle is said to perform work when there is a component of force in the direction of motion of the particle. In the case under consideration, where we have a charged particle carrying a charge Q moving in a uniform magnetic field B, now the magnetic force acts perpendicular to the velocity of the particle. Here we say that no work is done by the magnetic force on the particle. Hence, no change in the velocity of the particle can be seen. Mathematically, when the velocity of the particle v is perpendicular to the direction of the magnetic field, we can write magnetic force as F is equal to Q V cross B. This topic is already we have to discuss in the initial of the today class. What is F and why it is equivalent to Q into V cross B. So this is the expression for the magnetic force. Here, the direction of magnetic force is towards the center of motion by the object and it acts as a centripetal force. Why? Because the particle is moved in a circular motion. So automatically a centripetal force is also developed. Thus, If V and B are perpendicular to each other, the particle moves in a circular path. That is very important. V and B are in perpendicular only, the particle moves in a circular motion. In other cases, that means as the component of velocity, that means the direction of velocity, direction of a magnetic field, or in same, then there is no change in motion of the particle. That means whether it is a straight way, then after enter into the magnetic field also it is move in a straight direction. That means there is no effect due to magnetic field. Also, the motion due to the perpendicular component of the velocity is circular in nature. Now, the resulting motion due to the two components is a helical motion. So this is the helical motion. So mainly there are 2 points here. One is the particle velocity and magnetic field are in a perpendicular manner. Then particle moves in a circular motion. Then only particle moves in a circular motion. If particle velocity V and magnetic field are in a parallel manner, then the particle moves. What is the direction before presence of magnetic field? And it is the same as it is present in magnetic field. That means whether it is move in a straight, then in the presence also it is a move in straight. When it is moves in a circular path, in the magnetic field is also moves in a circular path. That means there is no change in its direction. The direction of the particle changes only particle velocity and magnetic field are perpendicular. Okay. Now here we choose the first case. That means particle velocity V and magnetic field both are perpendicular. Then automatically particle moves in a circular motion. So this circular motion is continuous. Then this path is called helical path. So this is the helical path. That means the continuation of a circular motion like this. Okay. Now, whenever particle moves in a circular path, then a centripetal force is developed. That means here two forces are acting upon it. One is magnetic force and another one is centripetal force. Why? Because here a developed centripetal force means the particle moves in a circular motion. Okay. So whenever the particle moves in a circular motion, a centripetal force is developed. That centripetal force is indicated by the expression F is equal to mv square by r. And magnetic force, already we have to take the condition both velocity and magnetic field are in perpendicular. That means theta is equal to 90 degrees. As the relation from F is equal to QVB sin theta, sin 90 value is 1. So F value becomes to QVB. Okay. Now, this is the expression for the centrifugal force, that is F is equal to mv square by r. Already you have to learn in your lower classes. This is the expression for the magnetic force. F is equal to QV. Okay. So these two forces are equal. By equating these two, that is mv square by r is equal to qvb. On both sides, cancel the v value. Then the expression for the r, that is radius of the circle, which is described by the particle, r is equal to expression mv by qb. Here, what is m? Mass of the particle. What is v? Velocity of the particle. What is q? Charge of the particle. What is b? Magnetic field intensity. Okay. Now, by knowing the value of r, we can also find the value of angular frequency. So what is angular frequency? Before we calculate the angular frequency, we have to know the value of omega. What is omega? Angular frequency. So omega value we have to find with the help of this relation. Angular frequency is indicated by the letter omega. Omega is found with the help of relation V is equal to omega r. V is the velocity. Omega is the angular frequency. R is the radius. Okay. This relation, from this relation, the expression for omega is simply V by R. V by R. So, actually, angular frequency is indicated by the expression 2 pi nu. Nu is frequency. There is a lot of difference between velocity or frequency in a particle moves with a straight motion. Whenever particle moves in a circular motion, the velocity is named as angular velocity. The frequency is named as angular frequency. So here we have to take in place of frequency as an angular frequency. Why? Because the particle moves in a circular motion. Okay. V is velocity. Velocity is applicable when particle moves in a straight motion. But when particle moves in a circular motion, we have to take the angular velocity value. So this is the expression for velocity. V is equal to omega r. V is velocity. Omega is the angular velocity. Sorry, angular frequency. And r is radius. Now angular frequency is general expression is 2 pi nu. Nu is frequency. Okay. From this relation, nu is equal to omega r, and omega value we can written as V by R. So V by R. But from this expression, V by R value is equivalent to QB by M. Now substitute this value here, QB by M. So 2 pi nu is equal to QB by M. Okay. Now, omega is the angular frequency. Now, time period T is equal to, what is the time period? It is defined as time taken for one revolution. So this time period is expressed as T is equal to 2 pi by omega. 2 pi by omega. So here omega we can written as 2 pi nu. So here 2 pi and 2 pi are cancelled. Then time period we can written as 1 by V. That means The reciprocal of frequency is also called time period. Okay. So these are the why we have to calculate the time period, angular frequency. These are all values which are useful to solve the problems. Whether in a problem we have to find the value of time period, just use this formula. Or you have to calculate the angular frequency, then you have to use this formula. Omega is equal to QB by M. That means in the problem they have to given the values of charge of the particle and magnetic field intensity B and mass of the particle. Then you have to find the angular frequency value. You have to use this formula. Omega is equal to QB by M. Or we have to find the value of frequency of the particle or time period of the particle. You have to use this formula. Or in case we have to measure the distance moved by the particle along the direction of the magnetic field in one rotation is given by P is equal to Vp into T. What is a P? It is a distance. Let us take distance consider as a P, and Vp is the velocity, T is the time. This is a simple expression which is taken from velocity is equal to distance by time. Then distance expression as velocity into time. Okay, so velocity is Vp, time period is reciprocal of frequency. This is the reciprocal value. I mean frequency value. This is the frequency value. From this, the frequency we can written as QB by 2 pi m. QB by 2 pi m. So the time is the reverse of frequency. So just 2 pi m by QB. So here Vp is the velocity of the parallel to the magnetic field. So this is the expression for the angular frequency, time period, and distance moved by the particle when a particle moves with a velocity placed in a magnetic field. So today's class we discuss about the what is a magnetic force. So simply magnetic force means when a charged particle moves with a velocity presence in a magnetic field, a magnetic force is developed which is perpendicular to both V and B. This magnetic force is indicated by the expression F bar is equal to QV cross V bar, or it is also simply F bar is equal to QVB sin theta. The value of or the magnitude of force depends upon the theta value. And next we discuss about the what is the direction of force. That is with the help of right hand rule. Our thumb indicates the direction of force and the remaining 4 fingers indicates the direction of magnetic field. And another case today we discuss is motion of a charged particle in a magnetic field. Whenever a particle moves with a velocity q placed in a magnetic field which is perpendicular to both velocity, then it moves in a circular motion, that is a helical shape. Whenever particle moves in a helical shape or in a circular projection, a centrifugal force is also developed. So this is the expression for the centripetal force. This is the expression for the magnetic force. These two forces are equal. By equating, we have to find the expression for different physical quantities like angular frequency, time period, distance, etc. So today's session is complete. Thank you.